Hello fellow space engineers, this is Marcelo from ACFM Gaming, and today I want to talk about Rdav's Fleet Command pack. Now, in a happy coincidence, he recently released his Fleet Command pack, which is not a mod nor a script, it's a collection of scripts. And I said a happy coincidence because I was just talking about this module down here, and we had the whole discussion about carriers, cruisers, drones versus fighters. Now, drones are a reality thanks to this pack. And the setup is fairly simple. It still has a few glitches that he's ironing out, but overall is highly efficient when it comes to managing fleets of drones. And as you can see here, this is let's say, the prefab that he made, so anyone can just paste it in his or her world and proceed to cut and paste these things, let's call them the cores for each type of drone, this one being the attack craft, or sorry, for fighters or any kind of a small assault craft that you build, this one for the frigate, and this one for the mothership. Now, this is the main menu and this is the GPS coordinates menu. I'm not gonna go over it because he already has made a few tutorial videos. So suffice it to say, this has different behaviors for frigates and fighters at this point. He states that he's gonna add support for cruisers soon. So all you need is this type of arrangement. The orientation is important, and you're good to go. Now, there are other recommendations that I would like to give you when designing the drones. And this is a repurposed drone. This is my Stinger drone. It's been redesigned and adapted for usage with this script suite. I originally designed this for the Drone Conquest mod. And the consideration that I was going to mention is that you need to consider to add some sort of asymmetrical thrust. For example, it's really easy for them, and especially since the whole thruster nerf, it's really easy for them to just slam against the connector. So I have added just an extra two small thrusters on the belly, and I try to retain 6 attitude control thrusters in every direction. As you can see here, 6 on the top, and 8 on the belly. Now there's another issue in which the drones don't detect the large thrusters, but if you add too small, what you will see is that sometimes it just uses the too small, or it uses one of the large thrusters, but overall doesn't affect performance as long as you have a combination of them. Now this drone have several settings, and let's call them behaviors. So you can tell them to attack a target, you can tell them to move information relative to your ship. Now the positioning, they get it from, and I will show you here in a second. Currently they get their own positioning from their remote control block, but for the mothership they get it from the programmable block in which you install the main script. So this is it. Now if you set them to go to the left, they would actually go to the front of this ship. If you set them to go to the right, they will go to the back, and so on. So just to keep that into consideration when you place the programmable block. Now let me quickly show you. This is the menu, and first of all, what I want to do is I want to lock them, and as you see there, the game recognized 5 drones in Squadron 0. Now you want to number those connectors, the number of the squadron first, and then the ID of the individual drone. Each one can contain 5, so you start numbering from 0 to 4, and that makes 5. Okay, let's access it, pressing enter. You see you have attack, dock, go to. Let's tell them to go above the mothership. Let's see. And as you can see, they begin to take off. from the highest number to the lowest. Just I named this one 0, 0, and so on. Now I paint them orange for high visibility for the purpose of this video. As you can see, they reach a safe distance, the launch distance, and then they start moving towards the position that they've been told, which is above the mothership. They can look like bees. Whoa. That was interesting. Okay, now let's tell them to dock, which is most likely the most scary maneuver, the recovery of the drones. Because in case if you design a drone that doesn't have enough braking thrust. Oh, here's what I was talking about. You see only one thruster. That should be okay. Okay, let's tell them to dock. Where are they? Okay. There they are. Now Rdav opened a thread of suggestions and bug reports in the description of his workshop link, so make sure to check it out. And as you can see here, they begin to return to the launching platform. Now, one thing that I would like to suggest, and I'm going to do it here in the video and then I'm going to post it also in his description, is maybe some type of braking maneuver after they travel for a long period of time at max speed. They can maybe turn around, apply full thrust or just full dampening to slow down, like real life spaceships do. Okay, here they're coming back, and you'll see they're gonna overshoot, and then they're gonna begin fine maneuvering. Okay, that was exactly what I was talking about, actually. Okay, they will begin doing fine maneuvers until they find their perfect alignment with the connector. Each of them has a place. That's why you have to number the connectors. Okay, here comes the first one. This is 0, 0. Okay, one of them lost a decoy. Maybe that's my fault for adding those decoys. And we have touchdown, and that's perfect. I wonder what's happening with those explosion sounds. Okay, this one is going head first, I guess. Interesting. Oh. So I guess the collision now sounds like an explosion. That's funny. So yeah, we have to be considerate when we design our drones if they have too much protrusions like these ones. Although, yeah, if they protrude too much, they might, clip each other. And there you have it. It has an automated power off from the thrusters. So in case you're moving the carrier, they don't try to fight you. Okay. In between my recording sessions of this video, Rdav released an update for his script suite for the drone control, and his drones can now actually support large thrusters on the back, and they have better fine control when docking, which, I mean, that's great, and you'll see it in a second. Now, I want to have a few comments on drone design, and again to follow up on the considerations that I was telling you. I have been testing this well, fleet command script package thoroughly. And one thing that you want to do, especially during combat, is ensure that your drones are actually resilient, that they can actually take some damage. And it just goes into the whole philosophy of design, and drones tend to lend themselves really easy to this, which is having some sort of overly redundant systems inside of them. As you can see here, I have decided to go with a cluster of small reactors, which is not the cheapest option, but it definitely ensures that your drone comes back. Now, this has a funny story behind it. As you can see, it only has one single small thruster on the top remaining, and it took this drone a while and several approaches to actually dock, because it was only maneuvering with one single thruster on the top. So every time it tried to rotate, it would float into this direction without being able to apply that much retro thrust. Fortunately, and especially for the landing, it retained most of the belly, the vertical thrusters, and the connector, so it was able to lock back. And as you can see, it lost all of the decoys, and it retained this one, but it's damaged. So, well, most importantly, the medium cargo container in the center is still intact. And perhaps even more important than that is the fact that the entire core, the core system, as you can see there, the gyroscope, the remote control, the sensor that it uses, and behind it, behind the remote control, maybe you can see it through there, is the programmable block that runs the script, and also the antenna. So let's say the core systems of the drone are fully functional, and this one came back and you can repair it. But what I really want to talk about now in this follow-up section is the frigate drones, and I have these two. I call them groupers because it's a fat and ugly fish like this one that is extremely tasty. I really like to eat it. So anyway, these grouper patrol boats, this is a drone patrol boat, and you're gonna see how impressive it is for this thing, which is massive and has only two small thrusters, how finely it maneuvers to dock. So for this test, I am using again the Ekimeru carrier. This is by Arara, the creator of the widely known Invaders mod. This carrier launches a squadron of 6 fighters, I think every 5 minutes. So the fighters are armed with 2 Gatling turrets and 1 rocket turret. So we're going to test our patrol boat drones against them. Okay, I decided to run a little experiment, and I changed the classification of the 2 patrol boat drones and turned them into assault craft, so they behave more like fighters. I decided to do this because they are a class of ship that is even smaller than a corvette. So perhaps it makes more sense that they perform in a less of a frigate type role. Okay, so the enemy carrier launched the fighter squadron, 6 coming at us. You see them above and below the carrier. Now, let's launch our 0 squadron and tell them to, let's see, go above us, and then we're gonna tell them to follow. Sorry about that. Okay, the follow should be 6. Now when fighters are on follow, they attack nearby enemies. Let's see how they perform. What I want to get out of these 2 large drones is the auto attack. Yeah, they're definitely using the fixed weaponry and moving in conjunction. They could benefit from having some decoys, I think. Yeah, definitely this size of drone behaves better as a fighter. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's funny. Well, that's an interesting tactic. Well, just don't get into a crossfire. Okay. Oh, this lost the turret. Okay, one interesting thing to note is that they keep attacking already destroyed enemies. I mean, the ones that a human would consider already destroyed. So perhaps... Oh no. Yep. So an already destroyed fighter managed to took out one drone. Perhaps the targeting priority should be enemy turrets, then remote control or cockpit blocks, and then reactors, and that's it. The amount of impacts that it's getting. So those two patrol boats only managed to take out one single enemy. Must be getting overwhelmed. Yeah. Perhaps there should be also an auto dock after they lose weapons. Pretty much like the vanilla pirates. Oh, poof, disappeared. That's really, really interesting. This thing ate a large grid and still alive. Oh, well, as I was saying, automatic return to base after losing all weapons or depleting ammunition. Well, I think we learned a lot. Also with the friendly fire that kamikaze enemy fighter tore the CIC like a can opener. Fortunately, it's only decompression. think we learned a lot. So I want to see what you guys have to say in the comments, and especially um, Rdav, if you watch this video. Um, those are just my suggestions how to make this amazing work of yours better. So it's basically making the drones a bit smarter about target acquisition and when to retreat. And I have to say that this might be not an accurate representation of a battle um, in the way that you would like to play it, because this was an inferior force attacking a numerically superior opponent that is on a defensive stance. As you can see, the enemy fighters, and they do this with the mod, the invaders mod, they tend to defend the carrier. They don't come at you. They go back and forth, and they have this kind of like pincer going on. You have three on the top, three on the bottom relative to the carrier. And my two patrol boats were just trying to like go around and pick them off, doing strafing runs. So yeah, they basically fell into this trap. They only managed to destroy one enemy fighter. That's the one that kamikazed into the destroyer and ended up causing more damage. So yeah, I mean, for example, if the firing arc of the drones is too close to a friendly ship, uh, maybe a ceasefire command or something like that. I don't know to what extent that's going to be possible. But definitely keep up this amazing work, and I'm really enjoying these tests.